Hello, hello. Happy Flex Friday. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to our podcast.
Episode
9.
9.
I'm Rada.
And I'm Lisa. And welcome.
We talk about anything and everything on the
pretty
show.
much. Whatever comes up while we're talking about other stuff and everything in between.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you for those of you who liked, subscribed, commented on the last couple of episodes. Again, we love it. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Keep it coming. It's just really great to see I don't want to say community because we're not there yet. But just
we have
the
a
following.
tiny community.
Yeah, it's a little following growing, and a lot of people who are like repeat listeners and commenters. That's really heartening for us to see. So thank you for that, and for those of you who haven't done that yet, do it.
Subscribe.
Yes, but most of all, enjoy. And with that having been said, I'm going to have a little quick fire session with some queries I have for you.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna go as fast as I know I say this every week, but I'm really gonna go really fast.
Okay.
Okay, because it's meant to be quick
I
fire.
should put our timer on also. Go.
All right. Favorite ice cream flavor? That one.
Pistachio. I was gonna say it in German. Okay, pistachio.
Oh, what is it in German?
Pistazien.
So many sounds that are just unnecessary. Anyway, say a word in Spanish.
¿Qué tal?
What does that mean?
How are you?
Oh, is
I
it?
said more than one word.
Okay, so say a word. Follow instructions.
Besos.
Was that kiss? Oh. Do you believe in fate?
So like,
That's a hard one.
like
Meant
right
to
place
be.
and the right time, kind of meant to be, kind of.
Yeah, like meant to be. Like even if you're not in the right place in the right time, it's just meant to be. Is there a fruit
Yes
fly
and
in
no. There is a fruit fly. Yes and no. Because I also feel like you can make decisions or take actions along the way to create.
To affect and create your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's a
Good
tough
answer.
one.
That's
yeah.
a good answer. Favorite number?
9.
Oh my god, that's totally mine!
I was born on the 19th, so I always have I'm drawn to the number 9.
19th of
May. Thank you.
Oh yeah, 2 days before my birthday. Oh my gosh. Dante's 19th.
What?
December.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. No, really 9 is my favorite number.
Okay.
If I was OCD, I would do everything 9 times.
Damn.
Yeah, like I'm pseudo OCD, and sometimes I find myself trying to make it. Let me not talk about that.
Okay.
Back to you.
Yeah.
Who has it easier, men or women?
Men.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals? Time residing in Germany, definitely
Do
inclusive.
slippers count, like mules?
Yes.
Yes, when I take the garbage
If you're
down.
asking the question, then
When
the
I
answer
take
is
the
yes.
garbage down, only.
Okay, yeah, but anything goes when you're taking the garbage down.
But I could see myself doing that going to the gym if I didn't want to wear my sneakers. Like putting my socks on and putting my mules on
But
and
I
going to the
carry
gym.
my sneakers, but I wear like sandals to the gym. But I carry my sneakers and my socks. And then when I leave, I take off my socks.
I actually sometimes just wear my sneakers to the gym. Like a good old fashioned.
Okay, but yeah, that's because that's fashion here.
Yeah.
Oh no, but they're really strict about sneakers
Yeah.
from outside
But
being inside.
But I don't use my sneakers anywhere
except
to
the
the
gym. And
gym.
the gym.
So literally getting out of the car from the parking lot.
Oh, you drive to the gym. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, because I don't.
Yeah, okay.
I live out in the boonies.
In the boonies. I haven't heard that in a long time. Since Connecticut days.
Connecticut.
Name a primate besides monkeys and apes.
Marsupials.
Absolutely not.
No?
You just went to a totally different animal type.
Is that more of a kangaroo kind? I don't know. What
Yes. I think
Oh, no.
platypi as well are
Primates?
No, are marsupials.
Oh. So what is another
Primate.
You said other than monkeys and humans. Don't name humans.
I said besides monkeys and apes.
Oh, I heard monkeys and humans.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair. Humans.
Okay.
Why can't... I don't know why this is there. Why can't we tickle ourselves?
Because we know it's happening?
I think so. Because you can anticipate before.
Are there answers to this quiz?
No. It's just whatever.
Okay.
What does a person need to be happy?
Human connections.
Good answer.
This is like deep.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
A bit.
Minus the primates one.
It could have been. Because some people don't believe that humans are primates. That was past. What has been the best age that you've had so far? Or if you feel like it's coming, what would you consider the best age?
I'm going to say my 40s are going to be the best.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the last one. Is double dipping at a party ever acceptable?
Never.
Thank you.
Never.
Thank you.
Do you flip the French fry over and then dip?
I think at a party?
Yeah. Like you dip it once.
Yeah, and then you
take
flip
a bite,
the side
flip
that you
it,
didn't
but
bite.
make sure that you haven't touched the other end completely.
No, because it's too close to double dip domain.
Okay.
So
but
I
if
just
it was like
eat
a small gathering.
If we're like at dinner and we're all friends, then yeah, I could flip it.
Okay.
But generally no. Generally I put enough dip on the chip on the fry or on my plate that I'm weird. I don't like stuff on my fries.
What do I eat with my fries? Because I don't do ketchup. I'm not a huge fan of mayo, but I'll do like a tiny like
a little something, yeah. Even
sparkle.
with like my potato chips, like I like a good crisp proper potato chip as it is.
I like onion dip.
Get a sour cream and onion potato chip.
And add an onion dip to it.
Like onion on it.
Onion on
must
onion.
be there. How about aioli? Like garlic aioli.
Yeah. Anything with garlic. Come on, like we cook.
That can go on anything.
We cook everything with garlic.
So
like if it does not have garlic
and coriander,
it's not worth eating.
Yeah, and a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. Like you need to smell the garlic in the house. It says one garlic
clove. No, we're adding
so
like 3 or 4.
Yeah. Oh, I'm doing especially with the garlic here. They're like little.
They're not, and they don't have the same flavor.
Thank you.
I don't get it. I was talking to my friend about it. We can't figure it out. We can't figure it out.
It's just even
all
the
water.
spices. Even the spices here. This taste. I'm I'm going through a whole thing of spices every week.
Yeah, I will take my garlic press. And like and if I do it in Jordan and I squeeze the garlic into oil, it starts immediately like sizzling.
There's so much garlic.
Here it like splatters because there's such high water content in it. I think
like dripping. Yeah.
And I'm just like, no.
It's a waste. And the clove is big. Like the whole the bunch is big, but then you open it up and it's like these tiny cloves and it's just like come on. Now I gotta use like 80. Yeah.
Stink up the house even more, but.
They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Well, that was our quick fry round. Welcome to... I think we already said that.
We did. We said
But welcome again. We're going to jump straight into the topic for today. But first of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a good week.
Yeah, I think so. Have you kept up with your training? She's been a beast with the training, though, to be honest. Like, she's like...
You inspired me, though, because you were like, I'm going to go...
I can't inspire you, and then you go ahead of me and surpass me.
No, but you, so when we were talking about the gym and I was giving you shit about it, I was going to the gym, but maybe 2 times a week.
I'm glad that you admit that you were giving
I was very consistent, I was very consistent with on Wednesdays I go and I do my Zumba class. This is
I'm going to need to see this Zumba class.
Yeah, it's
because my idea of Zumba...
No, this one is literally I walk out dripping sweat.
Yeah.
And I love it and I wait every Wednesday for this class.
That's so good. It's good to have something like that.
So I would do that and I would always have another one that's floating around, another day in the week that it's floating around. You know, and it's just was not consistent. But the last couple weeks I'm no, you know what? Lisa's doing it and she's consistent. I'm going to be consistent too. you know?
Good.
So.
Well, you've inspired me back.
Aww.
Because now I'm like, all right, I need to do more than the days that I've been doing.
She's trying to one-up me now.
I'm not.
I told her I went last week 4 times, and I'm sure you were like, this bitch.
Basically, is like, what I said.
I'm going to go 5 times this week.
First of all, because you went to lunch by yourself without me, but yay for self-date.
We're still on that. Okay.
I feel some type of way.
Okay.
There's a Vietnamese restaurant across the street. We could have gone there after.
Okay.
But anyway, then I was in the house doing housework, and then she went to the gym. She had the nerve to do all of these productive things. Okay. But I was mad because I was like,
You just had one of those days. Just one of them days that a girl goes through when I'm angry inside. And I don't do anything productive. Sorry. Okay, and we're back.
Woo! If y'all don't know about Monica, find out.
What are we gonna talk about?
She looks exactly the same, by the way.
Does she? But is she still singing?
I mean, I think she can still sing. I don't know
like,
if she's putting out albums.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening in the rest of the world now because I live in Germany. But yeah, I think like
I tried.
I don't know if she tours.
By the way, I tried Googling because I really wanted to find a place with Afrobeats that we could go dance.
Oh, I have a few. I have a list of a few. I mean, I have a list of a few. I don't know how great they are, and I shortlisted them, and I'm gonna look at them when I have time, and I'll share with you the ones that look like.
Okay, because what I got was just like a list of playlists. That's what I got. I said Afrobeats Munich dancing, and I got like
0 results.
Why?
Oh, no, there's a lot of places. And actually, because I searched for it and I followed one place, my algorithm is completely like giving me like all of these things happening every week.
Then I'm waiting.
And there's a community apparently, so. Now we're going to find it and we're going to, who's knocking on my door?
No, I think it was just the wind.
Okay.
I did go dancing on the weekend.
How do I find this stuff out on the podcast like everybody else?
I went dancing with 2 of my friends. To a Greek
Am I not a friend of yours?
You are.
Who likes dancing?
Only speak German.
I don't care. I'm there for the music.
Do you know when the freaking music started? We got there at 8.
Yeah, like midnight.
It started at midnight. And so 8 o'clock, no, they don't do breaking plates anymore to save costs. So what they do instead is hand out tissues, like a bunch of white tissues, but
because that's so much better.
And then they just start throwing that in the air, and they hand out what are they called? The flares that you put on the birthday cakes? Not the flares, the sparklers.
Oh, I was like candles.
No, the sparklers, the ones that are
and then they fizzle out. Those ones. I got it. I don't know what they're called. Sparklers. Not the
There's the dainty ones, and there's the ones that are gonna put out your eyebrows.
Yeah, they give you the eyebrow one.
Yeah. They gave us the eyebrow ones, and they were handing those out. And
it sounds like a party. I could have been there.
But the music was semi okay. Of course they played a couple songs that you were could.
But that's okay. Just dance and just moving the. She said, "Pop your
booty."
Pop.
And then there was you can dance. They played a bunch of set. I don't know who they thought was in the audience.
Oh yeah.
Which everybody knows those songs. And everybody loves them, and in that moment, you're loving them, whatever. But
yeah, I could have done that.
You can't go from popping your booty to. It just doesn't work.
I went from Kenya to Germany. Clearly, I can go from one extreme to the other.
Oh my god. Okay, let's get focused.
Okay. So, what are we talking about today?
Today, I thought we could talk about. Forgot the topic. So I was thinking we could talk about unsolicited advice. This idea of. Or the type of advice that comes our way and how to deal with the unwantedness of it.
Present company excluded.
Present company.
It's just a discussion. We don't give advice.
And again, we're telling you more anecdotes, our own experiences, but we're not claiming to be experts, and we're not telling you that you all need to do 1, 2, 3. We just give suggestions.
Yeah.
And you
from what we've learned, we tell you about our mistakes as well too.
Yes. So.
Yeah. It is what it is. Unsolicited advice is a good one. I think when I think of unsolicited advice, I think immediately the source of unsolicited advice in the most copious amounts comes to my mind, the first person is my mom. Because we never think of a parent sort of advising you as being unsolicited because it's just called parenting. But I think especially in this day and age where we have such a huge gap between generations in terms of access to information and like maturity and how fast kids are growing up, like there's definitely going to come a time when my kids are going to be advising me on stuff. The opinion or the ideas I have will be completely obsolete to them. And I think that's a bit hard for our parents' generation to accept. And it works even with friends too. Sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'll just take the L on the conversation, but I know what I'm going to do at the end of it.
Oh, I can't, like, the number of times I've received unwanted advice from friends. It's one thing, like, I have no problem. Like, if I really want your advice on something, like, I will come and I'll be like, Lisa, this and this is happening. What do you think I should do? But you know me, first of all, I'm not a talker.
You rarely do that.
So, if I am coming to you to talk to you about something,
things are thick. Like,
it's something big is happening, and it most likely is that I just want somebody to listen to me. Yeah. I just want to be heard, and I don't want you to try and fix it. I don't want you to try and fix me. I don't want you to give me advice. I just want you to listen. I remember I was having a really tough time at one point. My partner and I were struggling a bit, which is totally normal with relationships. Every couple has these problems. And I remember I was just talking to a friend about it, just kind of needed. And again, like I said, like I'm not somebody, like just venting. And I'm not somebody that really talks about my issues. We've talked about this before. Like I always feel like my issues are not as big as the person sitting next to me, and that I'd rather listen to your problems and help you out than deal with my own. It's something that I've been working on, and I'm getting better at it. So this one time I decided, let me confide in this friend. And after a while, she listened, and she heard me, and she was nodding, and she was smiling. And then at the end, she was like, well, you know, if I was you, I would just shut up and be okay with it. So she has her own issues. Because
it could be worse.
And so she was like, she's like, my issues are worse than yours. You should just shut up and deal with it. And I just thought, damn, not coming to you again.
You are a better person than I am. Because what was your reaction to that? You were just like, okay.
Yeah, literally. I just kind of like slapped in the face. I was already in like at a low point, and then to feel like the first time that I actually thought, let me bring my shit to the surface, let me be vulnerable.
Kicks you when you're down.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had family members do the same thing to me. I think we talked about it. Yeah. No, but family sometimes are the biggest. I listened to what you have to say, and I think you really don't have any problems.
I don't see a problem.
I'm like,
walk it off.
Just walk it off. Damn.
What else is going on? Wow. Yeah, no, that's hurtful. That's so hurtful. And obviously, you know, what's clear is that she had something that she needed to get off her chest, and her capacity to listen was blurred by the fact that, you know, she's in this difficult situation as well.
And I can respect that.
Which is fine, but like there's relativity as well to difficulty. What is one person might find acceptable in a relationship or with a problem or with a situation might be a problem to another person, or unacceptable. Relative. We all are. So for me to express to you, listen, this is a problem for me. This I find completely intolerable. Even if to you it's tolerable, like, you're my friend. Indulge the fact that I feel that way. At least legitimize the feeling that I'm having, because that's subjective. I'm entitled to feel how I feel. That can't be wrong. And then let's talk through perspective on that, and let's talk through in a kind and loving way. But it's hard. It's also hard to see clearly when you have your own shit clouding. But in a lot of ways, the unsolicited advice comes from a place where someone feels like, oh, I've gone through that. Like, I'm way ahead because I'm going through way more. So I feel like your problem is less. So I can advise you on that because you know what? I'm going through way more. And the fact of the matter is, I'm not in your house. I'm not in your brain. I'm not in your body when you're going through all of the things that you're going through. So how it hits you and affects you, I can't feel the same way you feel. So even if I've gone through the same thing, all I can do is empathize and be like, I understand that it's not great, that this is how I felt in the same situation. I acknowledge that. But I can't ever say that how you feel is wrong or it's not a big deal, because what is a big deal is relative.
It's relative. I mean, we're all different beings, right? Like the way that we've grown up and the way, like, even just if you want to think about our own experiences or what has shaped us, you know, just simply our gender, our education, our experiences growing up, our class, all of that, our culture, our race, our religion, like that all plays a role into how you deal with things and how you experience things. So like you said, like what affects you is going to affect me in a completely different way, or not affect me at all. Exactly. But it doesn't mean you don't validate the other person's feelings and what they're going through. And so
that's what's so difficult in relationships as well, because you have two individuals that have grown up with completely different lives, in some cases, completely different cultures.
And coming together to try to...
Yeah, and what's acceptable in one culture is completely unacceptable in another. We talked about this before. Boundaries, things like this. And it breeds an environment where you're just like, all right, well, I don't even have legitimacy to speaking about my issue, because the advice or the feedback that I'm going to be given from the person who's in a position to help me is that there is no problem, which is really hard to receive.
Yeah. So what do you do? What have you done? Like, if advice that you don't want, minus we talked about your mom, but like if a friend comes to you with advice that you didn't ask for in the first place.
I have an example for you. So when I was living in Kenya several years ago, I gravitated towards a group of friends. Most of them were already friends already. One of the girls was a stronger personality, kind of a leader of the pack sort of personality. And single mom, I think her elder son at the time was the same age as my elder son. So they played together. They didn't live too far away. So we all kind of just hung out quite a bit together. And both of us, like I said, single moms. So we had sort of those things in common. And she was embarking on the start of like a court battle with her actually husband at the time. And and a divorce process. And I was sort of at the tail end of my own situation. And at every juncture, she was giving me advice about how I was reacting to the process and how I was handling it and et cetera. And I was like, you know what? She's trying to be supportive. She's trying to be supportive. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt throughout the whole process, till it came to a point where we were on a girls' trip at the coast. Champagne for breakfast. I'm talking like, you know, all of the... We were tanked by 10 a.m.
Okay.
Kind of girls' trip. And so... Truth talk, right?
Just the two of you?
No. It was 1, 2, 3. It was for one of us who at the time was celebrating her 40th, but she didn't want us to mention that it was her 40th.
Okay.
But we were
in denial, but that's a different...
Yeah. Which is crazy because she looked amazing, but anyway, everyone has their thing.
Yeah.
And so it was, I think, like 6 of us girls and one of our husbands. So amazing girls trip. Still, despite all of the drama, which is inevitable usually, great girls trip. On this girls trip, we talked about all old loves, unrequited love, relationships that, were just unresolved, just, stuff that kind of sticks in your gut. One of them was my on-off sort of unrequited relationship with my current partner. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we couldn't see a way for ourselves to be together. It was a difficult time,
Distance,
but I was
all of that.
Right. But I was getting ready to come to Europe for a trip with my other group of girlfriends, and I was planning on meeting up with him. And it's now a running joke with me and my gay friend, because we both left that group of friends. But I was like, well, this person is my best friend. So even if we aren't together, the reason that they remain in my life is because we are best friends. We share everything, even when we are apart and in other relationships or what have you. Like, we know everything about each other. And she was adamant. She was like, do not meet up with him. Do not talk to him. Block him. Cut him off. There's nothing this person can do for you. She was like, it was like she was personally offended. I was like, wow, does she know this guy? And
she was projecting her own.
Obviously. But I was just me in my drunken state, zero. This is why I don't drink champagne.
Zero
champagne is
inhibitions.
And is an enemy of progress. But I drank champagne that morning, and I just looked at her and I said, from what high hill of divorce and single motherhood are you giving me advice on, at that time, a 10 plus year relationship that I've had with this person? Like, where?
Damn.
I'm not seeing the degrees that give you the know-how to be imparting the knowledge, professor.
Right. And how did that go over?
Oh, not well. Not well. Needless to say. But it was just, and I realized that there was, with this particular person, this need to always advise.
Yes.
This need to always project as like a know-it-all, which I do sometimes too. But I was like, it's only because I want to help people. I've never sort of overstep and step on someone's toes and be like, don't see this person. Especially when I don't know about the history of the relationship. And I just felt like, oh no, you actually just want me to stay here and be unhappy with you.
Misery loves company.
And exactly. And sort of, like stagnating and not growing and finding happiness anywhere else. No, not going to happen. And I saw after that several instances of her doing the same, not just with me. And it eventually led to the end of the friendship.
Okay.
Yeah. So and it wasn't just because it was unsolicited advice. It was also just bad advice. I'm like, not just that, but a lot of the advice. And I'm like, where is this coming from?
She's definitely probably thinking of past failed relationships, her current relationship that has failed as well, her marriage.
Yeah.
She was struggling with the idea of that, oh my God, I'm going to be on my own, whereas you and her were on the same level, but now you were moving on and you were rekindling this potential relationship with this man. So she's like, oh shit, I'm being left behind. I'm really going to be the single, lonely mother.
Yeah. And I think there was bitterness there. I think the fact that she couldn't be happy for me came from the bitterness.
No, because had she been in the same position, she would have been like,
Girl, look at my man. Yeah. And I would have been
like, I could do it, you could do it. Kind of thing.
Exactly. No. And I was just like, listen, this is not friendship. This is I don't know what this is, but it's not for me.
No.
So I walked away. So that's probably one of the instances that I can remember where my reaction was to very strongly and vehemently say, I'm walking away from this relationship, from this friendship. Yeah. And I've never regretted that. Only regret is I didn't do it sooner. But you know me, like 2 chances cut you off.
2 chances.
She had more. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For a significant betrayal or mess up, or significant characteristic that shows me who you are, 2 chances. Because once could be a glitch in the matrix. Twice, that's who you are. Yeah.
How do you feel about the unwanted advice that comes from other parents?
Is the main reason I don't interact with other parents. One of the main reasons.
I think that's where like the stress That stresses me out more than anything. Oh. Is the amount of
Moms especially. Moms especially.
That send our way like, oh, this worked for my child, so it'll work for your child.
They don't even say it like that. They're just like, you should try this.
Yeah.
Like, how you're doing it is all wrong.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know?
And it's just so weird. Like, I'm like, do you hear yourself? Do you hear the way that it's coming off? Like, very condescending.
They don't.
This know-it-all kind of...
I'm helping you out. Like, no. You're welcome. I'm helping you out.
I can't stand that. Anyone that is a know-it-all that has to put it out there and be like, this will work. I know this better than you do.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's not like, oh, let me give you another option or another perspective. It's your way is incorrect.
Yeah.
Take mine. The only way. Oh. That's just... Last week, I told you about, I don't know if you saw my post about it, but there was a mom whose son has repeatedly on the rugby team been racially abusing Dante. Repeatedly. I told the coach about it. Coach was a pussy about it and didn't do nothing. So I was like, okay, so it's the end of the semester. You said you're going to get the boys together to talk about it because they have to play together next season. Nothing happened. The semester has ended. I'm taking matters into my own hands. So I texted the father because we're in the same group chat for rugby. He doesn't respond, but I get a text back from the mother who says, oh, I just saw your message to my husband. Listen, he doesn't speak very good English, but I've seen it. This is my first hearing about this. I wish that the boys would have sorted it out the day it happened on the spot. I think they should have a call. He should apologize. But having said that, I know they've been playing really well together. So they've probably moved past it. And I think it was just a misunderstanding.
How can those comments be misunderstandings? Are you kidding me?
And if I tell you the comments that were said, is this the same
incident that would happen at the beginning of the school year with the same
different kid. Yeah, that was me. I was like, let me talk to him.
Is there no zero policy at this school? Like,
there's meant to be, but there's no enforcement. So here I was, like, disrespectfully, ma'am, there is no misunderstanding when your son says, and I quote, and I put the things that he said, and I put the number of times that he said it. And I said, to avoid me having to confront your son on the call that you've just decided that they should have, which I think is a good idea, maybe you should talk to him about what he said first. Because obviously he lied to her.
Right.
And been like, oh, we were just kidding around. And I was like, this is what he said. You should know.
There's no, even with stuff like that, there's no kidding around.
There's no kidding around.
Like, oh, I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, she was like, oh, you know, it's a misunderstanding. I was like, maybe that's a misunderstanding for you, but I don't understand how the meaning of this or the severity of it could be misunderstood. No. Like, literally, he has said things about his race specifically. Like, you are so black, blah, blah, blah. Like, there is no...
Oh, my God.
So she was like, oh, well, yeah, hopefully they can move on. Let's have a call tomorrow. So I was like,
Did this call ever happen?
The call did happen. And in the call, he's sitting there, basically like a
Zoom call?
I can't think of the word. No, it was just a WhatsApp video. Yeah, WhatsApp video call. And he's basically regurgitating, obviously, something that he's memorized.
Right.
So he's just like, hey, I'm really sorry for what I said. I didn't mean it. And racist jokes are really bad. And then I can see him looking like at someone who's obviously coaching him. Yeah, like she's holding up cue cards in the background, like, now say sorry, now nod. And then he's looking. This is the first time I'm seeing this. I don't even see him on the field because I'm like, your contribution to the team is so minuscule. Yeah. I don't even know who you are. So I'm seeing him sit there, and I'm just like, man, if I could go back to year 5 just for one day and deal with this kid myself.
Put him in his place.
Yeah. And I liked what my son said. He looked at him and he was like, oh, I didn't hear you. And he made him say the whole thing again. I said, boy. And he was like, because now he had to actually say it.
Yeah.
And so he said it, and he's just like, yeah, that's wrong. Like, and I looked at him and said, you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. I was like, thank you. I appreciate you saying that because, you know, in the real world, if you're a grown up, that's called a hate crime.
Damn. And his mom's on the phone.
She's there. I could see her in the shot.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was like, man, I said, and I've seen the mom. I said, Dante, your mama jokes you could have, and they would be true. But we have to.
She's going to be like our parents. Number one fan on this one.
Listen, let me tell you, I can't wait till the next rugby game because I'm going to be mean mugging everybody involved.
Oh, man.
Everybody. I'm going to be on the sidelines of every match, looking at her, looking at her husband, being like,
let me see your kid try to say
something.
I'm
going to make
next
sure
time.
I say hi because I want you to say hi and I want your voice to crack. Because you should be embarrassed about your behavior. Yes. And the coach too.
Because that's usually a reflection. Like, where does this kid learn this stuff?
It's the father, apparently. So he's also kind of like an unofficial coach. And he's very, very, apparently, like, kind of aggressive as well. Yeah, so I was like, So he's public enemy number one.
Okay.
But the fact that she was telling me about how my son
should have reacted, basically.
They've moved on. I'm like, how do you know? Are you in my house? I literally wrote back to her and I said, they may have moved on in terms of having to play together on the team, but I can assure you the effects of racist abuse has not been moved on from.
No. Thank you.
Like, I needed it to be clear to her that don't tell me about what it is. You don't know what this life is like. Like,
and she's trying to downplay it by just calling it a misunderstanding. Whereas
she tried to say to get on the call. I was like, it was not a misunderstanding.
It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was racist.
Yeah, and the thing
is, it was
Dante said, don't say that. That's racist.
Yeah.
Like, he actually said stop.
Yeah.
Because he knows that. This kid kept going. Up until the week before the call. Just going. I was just like, obviously that kid has problems.
Yeah.
That are beyond what is his fault, but he's at the age where he also should know better. Now
exercise
he knows
a bit
better.
Of judgment. Yeah.
Now he knows a little bit better.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will go towards him not doing this to anybody else. But we're gonna make sure. But yeah, for her to just come at me and be like, "Oh, well, your child is going through this," I'm like, "Honey, ma'am, pay attention to your own child because he's out here running amok, a whole mess. Don't worry about my child. I'll deal with him."
That's where we, like, when you deal with this unwanted advice, you just kind of, it's very important to, like, set boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in some cases, you can be polite and say, hey, thank you. I appreciate what you're saying.
I'm going to explore other options.
No, but in this case, I'd have been like, listen.
Listen.
I'm
telling you.
Listen.
Let me tell you,
there's
age
no
has mellowed me
that.
out. Age has mellowed me out, and it's good that my partner is here because he's always like the voice of reason. And, you know, like I had the text that I had already like drafted, and he's like,
let's bring it down a notch.
They have to play together in the next year. Like, we don't want it to be something where they can actually like grow from, you know? So let's not give that the opportunity. But let's let him know how wrong that was, but do it in an effective way. And I was like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
I can be more effective about how I communicate it, but man.
You wanted to, like, you were ready. You were ready.
I'm still ready. I can't wait to see her. I want the summer to be over because I want to.
Oh, you're not going to see her until September, I guess, right?
Right.
Ooh.
First practice even, just to practice, I'm showing up. I'm like,
hello.
I'm like, where are they at? Which one is it? Which one? Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting.
Okay.
And it was good for him to also see us in that photo shot because I made sure I said to my partner, let all of us be in the shot standing behind Dante. So he sees Dante has a whole tribe behind him.
Yeah.
And let him see, oh, you think Dante's black? I'm blacker. Say to me what you said to him then.
Yeah.
Say to me what you said to him.
See.
Yeah, but I wanted him to see, like, we are here. We all support him. So if you do this again, you have all of us to deal with. The baby, too, is going to be kicking and screaming in your face.
Oh, I can see that. He'd be the first one. You want to mess with my brother?
Honestly.
Okay, let's
go. He's so protective.
Let's go.
So, yeah, so that for me was just like, wow. Like, I can't believe that I would be embarrassed. And I was talking to my partner. I was saying, I'm so glad I'm not that it's awful. It's awful to have to know that your kid is going to go through this and go through it repeatedly.
Right.
And
I'm just looking at the time.
And get worse with, with time. But at the same time, I can prepare my child to be kind and resilient and strong and protective of other people as well as himself. Your kid is the kid that is racially abusing kids. Like, I would feel worse for that to be my kid. I would be so embarrassed because I'd be like, what is wrong with me that I have brought a person like this into the world and this is what they're doing to other people? So I'm like, you know what? That's actually a worse position to be in.
And you turned it into I would say you turned it into a dialogue rather than it be like
an attack.
An attack.
Absolutely.
You turned it into a dialogue. I'm hoping that you got through to her and to her son. Like, I don't know where the father was in this call. Like, he should have been
also part of the problem because he is on the field when this stuff is happening. Yeah. And apparently he's part of the problem. He says things like this. So.
Wow.
Oh, don't worry. September's coming.
Okay.
September's coming.
But in terms of the unsolicited advice and turning into a dialogue versus...
Yeah. No, I really like at least that she was able to say, let the kids talk. Because I didn't have to say that. That was my intent.
Yeah.
But she immediately said they need to talk and it needs to be face-to-face as much as we can make that happen.
Yeah.
And I was glad for that because I think she realized that was wrong. But more importantly, that opened up the avenue, at least for me, to feel like she would be receptive to hear me be like, yes, I hear how you view it. Incorrect, though. This is the experience. And so it's almost like I was giving her the unsolicited advice, but she was receptive in that respect to it because I was advising her from a point of view that she's never had and never will have. That was more like... Setting the record straight.
I would call it educating as well.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
There's a fine line between...
There can be.
So I think in that regard, in that situation, like, she needed to understand that, okay, just because you live where you live and you are not a minority, like, they're not a minority and maybe don't see as many minorities.
She's Spanish. They see. I'm like, who won the UEFA for you guys?
Oh.
Wasn't it dark black people?
That's okay. That took me to another.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, you just never know where it's gonna come from.
No. But you gotta set boundaries.
Yeah. I told my kid the same thing too, and I'll tell the baby the same thing as he grows, is you have to let people know this is a boundary that you don't cross. And I told them, you stand up for yourself, you tell them what's wrong, you tell them what's acceptable and what's not, and you walk away from people who don't get that. The only point is if someone puts their hands on you, listen, you let them know it's the first and the last time.
Okay.
But when it comes to your boundaries, be clear about them. And anything, especially racial, you tell us. You tell your teacher, you tell your coach, and you tell us. Same day it happens. Yeah. But he understands that now. He knows that this is not a line to cross. And the kid just kept crossing the line. I was like, okay, we need to stop.
Yeah.
Stop you in your tracks.
Seriously.
Yeah. But from the way he looked, and I made that eye contact on that video call.
He's done.
It will not happen again. I guarantee you.
Because you don't have a problem yelling at a kid, right?
Zero. But I don't need to yell. Let me tell you. That kid.
Just need to. Yeah.
September. I'll have stories for you.
I cannot wait.
Man, I'll tell you.
Oh, man.
The eyes do all of it.
The eyes do all of it.
But yeah, well, what about you? What have you sort of experienced in the way of unsolicited advice? Have you ever had an experience where it's happened and you sort of communicated what you just said? This is my boundary, like, thanks, but no thanks. And they're just like, no, I'm going to double down. You need to understand.
Yes, I've been in situations where I have friends that, are know-it-alls. They don't think that they're know-it-alls, but they're know-it-alls. And they'll give me advice. And then I'll have I'll have a sit down with them after a while, because my issue always was that I would just let their advice kind of just like sit inside of me and just fester. And just like get to a point where I was ready to explode every time they came at me with another thing, instead of just telling them right then and there that this is not okay. I don't want your advice. I don't like when you compare my child to your child. Like, I don't like any of that. I don't like when you compare my life to your life or any, like, no. And I just never was good at that. And so at some point I was like, no, you know what? After I reached a boiling point, I was like, before I erupt like a volcano, let me sit this person down, you know, and just tell them calmly. Explain that I don't like when you do this and this and that. So for me, I felt like I was creating a dialogue, which we said is, I think, very important. And I was setting my boundaries, telling this person that this is not okay for me.
Great.
Their response was, oh, but I never meant to do that. That's not what my intention was. And my friends have never had an issue with advice that I've given them before. So I don't know why you have an issue with it.
Are you all her friends? So all her friends exactly the same person?
Listen, like, so that's my issue too, is it comes back to validation. Like, you're not validating what I've just said and how it made me feel.
It's your feelings.
It's my feelings. And if I'm telling you that I didn't want that advice, that I didn't appreciate that advice, and you're coming in, first of all, not taking responsibility for how it made me feel,
and suppressing
how I did feel, and making me feel like I'm crazy, like, what do you do then? You know?
Yeah.
So I've
That's
done
the same as doubling down.
Yeah, I've done it, exactly. I've done it a few times, and I think slowly, after a while, these people have learned that, no, okay, Rad is not the type of person that, and I'm very, like, you see me, I'm a very friendly person. Okay?
Really is.
I'm super friendly. Like, if my friends do want to give me advice, like, I'll hear it.
You do.
I'm not going to be like, I'm not the person that's going to be like, nope.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me.
You're really receptive as well.
Like, I listen to it.
You're like, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
Even if it's hard to hear you, you will go away and think about it.
But it got to a point where I was doubting everything that I was doing. So every time I would get advice from anybody and everybody, whether it be friends or family or whoever, like, every time I was getting advice, I was feeling like, crap, like, I have no confidence in any decisions that I'm making.
Everyone else seems to know better.
They all know better.
I'm doing it
so
wrong.
I'm doing it wrong. So maybe I should listen to them. Like, why listen to my gut? Why listen to my, intuition? All of that.
Oh man.
So no,
your gut is everything.
Yeah. So I really tried to really start listening to myself more, and trying to make it clear that unless I ask for your advice, I just want you to hear me. That for me is,
and that I think should be the default.
Yeah.
In every conversation is, you know what? I need to talk. Okay.
Yeah.
And I sit and I listen.
Yeah.
And you talk and I sit and I listen. And if it gets to a point where I feel like you want me to say something, I'll say, can I say something? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes, what is therapy? Therapy is just talking. Yeah. It's just an hour plus of you paying someone to listen.
Yeah.
And that's, sometimes you get to the answer on your own. A lot of times, that's how you get to the answer. And I'm guilty of it as well. Like, I'm just like, oh, no, I just want to make you feel better. Like, I hear you talking about how bad you feel, and I just want to jump in and give you, like, things that'll make you feel better along the way. But sometimes, like, me just shutting the hell up is what will make you feel better.
And listen, I can respect if someone's gone through an experience similar to mine. I can respect that they have some knowledge and they have some wisdom that they want to impart on me and all. But like we already discussed,
absolutely,
like, even if we literally went through the same exact experience right now,
it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Because you're not the same exact.
We're not the same person. We're built differently. We react differently. We're like, unless we're twins.
And even then,
like, it's just, identical twins. I think even then, that could possibly be the closest you can think of where they would be reacting the same way. Or clone. But other than that, like, no, like, we're going to deal with things completely different. So again, I will listen. I will hear you. But please don't pretend to be the know-it-all for all life experiences,
all problems that you have, everything.
Like, if you want to, and it's also about how you communicate it. Like if
that's it.
If those same people came up to me and said, "Listen, I hear what's happening to you. Can I tell you what happened with me and share with you how I dealt with it?" And then you have
the right to be like, "No, I'd rather not hear."
Well, yeah, I can be like, "Listen, bitch, it's not about you right now." No, I'm just kidding. But it's
back to me.
But really, it's how you communicate it. Like,
absolutely.
If they literally just said, "I've been where you've been. This is what worked for me. Take it or leave it. If it works for you, if it doesn't,
and
great."
What you're feeling is not you're not wrong, and it's not uncommon. That's usually such a great opener statement that makes people feel okay. Like, I'm not crazy. Yeah. I'm not just by myself going through this. I'm not doing something wrong. Like, that already takes the guard down and makes someone more receptive to what comes next. Because that's what we really want, ultimately, is just an acknowledgement, you know? That's in situations where someone's going through something deeply personal and unique. And then you have situations where people go through things that you're like, you're doing the wrong thing.
Here, let me tell you how to do it.
Self-destructive. But you're like, sometimes you're just like, listen, I'm not on board, but like, you have to let people forge their own path sometimes. With the example I gave you with my friend, and I was just, some of the other girls who were on that trip were like, listen, she's gonna need to find out if this is a mistake for herself. You can tell her day in, day out that it's a mistake. She needs to come to that realization on her own. And see if whether or not you were wrong or right. She was wrong. But you know.
That's what I've learned as me becoming a coach. That was one of the big things that I had to learn, was that I'm not meant to be giving people advice. Because if I came to you right now and I said, Lisa, this is what you need to be doing to get back into shape, to get to the gym more often. This is like, what is that going to do for you if I give you a whole, you're going to close up, first of all. Or even if you were super receptive and said, okay, I'm going to follow Rada's instructions to a T, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym 4 times a week, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to do that. Like, if you're doing exactly what I told you to do, what are the chances that you're going to stick to that plan?
It's not me.
It's not you. You didn't come to it on your own. We've talked about journaling.
Yes.
If I told you, Lisa, go journal, I guarantee you wouldn't journal. But
it's like a kid.
You came at it by yourself. You said, you know what? And your friend also told you to journal.
Right.
I guarantee you the only time you are going to journal is when you're sitting by yourself and go, damn, maybe I should journal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe you have my voice in your head and your friend's voice in your head, and you have these like ideas floating around your head, but you're only gonna come to it on your own.
I have to subscribe to it.
Yes, you have to, and you have to believe it. Like you have to buy. You need that buy-in.
I was gonna say the buy-in. Yeah.
And so that's the same with like any advice that you're gonna give. Like that person needs that buy-in.
Dangerous. It's dangerous because if I say, you know what, you told me to do A, B, C, D, I did A, B, C, D, and it didn't work out.
It's your fault that I'm failing.
Forget you then. Right. Like,
you're going to find ways to resent me.
Of course. And there's because the last thing we want to do is take responsibility as well as human beings for our own situation. Yeah. So, of course, I'm going to be very eager to point the finger. And and there you have it.
And cut me off.
Yeah.
Like, 2 strikes.
I'd be like, you know what? You gave me 4 pieces of advice. That's actually 4 strikes.
You're out. Like,
you're out of there.
Be gone.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Gotta who? What?
What? Who?
Nah, we never had a podcast.
Podcast? No. Co-host? Mm-mm. Just host.
Just me.
Just me.
Just wipe the whole Instagram page. Oh my god. Slope. Yeah. The buy-in comes from them actually reaching that juncture on their own.
Yeah.
And you just letting them know, listen, I'm here to walk with you along the way, but I'm not here to pull you down the road.
And navigate like, no.
No.
It's on you.
Nice.
That's a good one.
I think that was a good one. Yeah. I really like the topic. I feel like I could talk about it on and on, but...
Because it does. It's something that we deal with all the time.
All the time. And especially at our age now, where we're in our 40s and we think we know everything. Now we're like, we've lived life, we've had partners and kids and relationships and experiences. Like, we feel like we know everything right now. And we really don't.
No.
We're finding out we still don't know shit.
But that's what I like, is that we're always works in progress. Like, we're never going to have it all figured out.
As long as we keep that in mind.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think on that note, if you have any comments for us, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Send us any feedback. Always open to it. We love hearing from you all. So,
really, honestly, it's
send it our way.
It's just nice to interact as well, because obviously we're just talking to a camera. So keep that coming. And we will see you next week.
Happy Flex Friday.
Bye.
Bye.